Hello everybody, welcome back to the Ultimate Goosebumps Man channel, and today I'm going to be giving you an episode review of Welcome to Dead House from the original Goosebumps 90s show. Now before I get into the review, I will say, this Blu-ray is not official. I have handmade these just for fun, just to have on my shelf. There's no actual DVDs in them, it's just the case. I made them for all 4 seasons of the show, plus some other ones for like random DVDs that were never adapted. I just thought it'd be kind of cool to have them and show them off for these episode reviews since I don't have a lot of the original DVD copies. But getting into the episode now, I will say this is one of the better episodes of the show. It's a 2-parter. It was episodes 20 and 21 of season 2. And it was one of the specials that was released. And pretty much all the specials are really good because they had a higher budget. They had better acting a lot of the time, and there was just a lot more they could cover within the 2-part span that not a lot of the other episodes could because they were only 20 minutes versus the 45 minutes roughly that the 2-parters got. Now there are some bad 2-parters. I will say that. I'll get into those when I get to the reviews. I will say there are some bad 2-parters that I don't really like, but the majority of them were really good, especially the specials that aired. So this episode was probably one of my favorites. I think there was a lot of really good elements to it. It was probably one of the most faithful adaptations of the book. Of course, as this was a G-rated show, there was a lot of stuff they had to change from the original book because there is some pretty dark and gruesome stuff within the book that they just couldn't get away with showing on children's TV. And I'll kind of get into that in a bit. So basically, the main plot of the episode, pretty much identical to the book. If you want to hear more about that, check out the book review. But for our basics, Amanda and Josh, 2 siblings, move with their parents to Dark Falls, which is this really creepy town, and they move into this abandoned old house. Now in the book there was a difference that the house was given to them by their great uncle, but that was never mentioned in the episode. But as they live there, Amanda notices weird things about the kids in the town and just the other town residents in general. And yeah, I'm not going to go too deep into it because, again, I don't want to spoil a lot, and I said a lot of it in the book review, and the plot really isn't that different. So, some of my positives about the episode, it's probably one of the scarier episodes in my opinion. There's a lot of really genuinely scary moments that I really enjoyed, that not a lot of other Goosebumps episodes had. It was a lot of the show was much more goofy and just over the top in the act. A lot of the acting was really bad, but this episode actually had some really good characters. The kid acting was overall really good. And it actually has, the kid who played Josh was in, I think, 2 other episodes of the Goosebumps show. He played Jerry in Piano Lessons Can Be Murder, and he also played Marty in A Shocker on Shock Street. The other actors, I don't think were in any other Goosebumps episodes. I think he was the only one that kind of returned. But a lot of the kid acting, particularly of the kids within the town, were really good. I really liked them. They had a nice scariness to them. And the townspeople as well. They were a lot more involved in the story than in the original book. The original book focused a lot more on the kids. But in the episode, the actual adults in the town were a big part of the episode, especially in the finale and even at one point near the middle of it. Kind of near the big reveal of what the truth is about Dark Falls. So, I will say the atmosphere is perfect. Matches the book perfectly. There is a dream sequence in this episode as well, but it is different than in the book. I won't say what, but if you remember what the book dream sequence was, it's gory, it's scary, and of course, as I said before, they cannot adapt that into the episode, so they changed it. Still a really creepy scene though, I will admit. There's also a big plot difference that the family has this wreath that they hang up above the fireplace that's kind of meant to ward off evil and keep good luck around the house, which was not at all in the book. And that whole wreath thing plays a big plot point because a lot of the townspeople are trying to convince them to take down the wreath. That's all I'm going to say about that again because I don't want to get too deep into spoilers. So, Mr. Dawes was also very different in the episode. In the book, he was more of a younger realtor who was helping them find the house and just stuff like that. And in the book, there was a big reveal about him near the end that really wasn't explored in the episode. You do see him at the end of the episode in this new way that is revealed, but you don't get the same kind of reveal as in the book. I will also point out that, as with a lot of the two-parters, this was a very high-budget episode. The setting for Dark Falls was really cool, and also a fun fact about the house that was used for the dead house, pretty much. It was actually used for the exterior shots of the house in Stay Out of the Basements episode, which will be coming up soon as a review once I review the book. But yeah, overall, I think this is a fantastic episode. I would give it a solid 9 out of 10. And if I'm being honest, I kind of prefer the episode to the book. I know a lot of people love this book and think it's one of the greatest, and I do too. It is really good, but I much prefer the episode for a lot of reasons. I think it's just a lot more well done. You can actually visualize the story a little bit better than in the book. I know there are some advantages of reading the book because you can visualize it in your own way, but the episode does a really good job of bringing it to life. And there's a different twist ending to it as well that wasn't as good. It was still decent, and it's more ambiguous than the book, but I still prefer the book's ending personally. But other than that, this episode was a solid episode, one of the best adaptations in the show. And as we go on with the episode reviews, you'll see that a lot of the adaptations are not as good as this, but I'll get more into that later on. So anyway, as of right now, I'd like to thank you all for watching.